Today I'll share 12 tips for beginner stock photographers that I wish I knew when I started my stock photography journey 12 years ago. Hey guys, Luca here, welcome back to my channel. So, I've been doing this stock photography for 12 years now, and there are things I've learned during these 12 years, and there are also things I wish I did differently. So for today I prepared a list of 12 things I've learned that might also be helpful for you. So, I think this will be a long video, so grab a cup of coffee or tea and enjoy. First thing, and don't leave just yet because it's such an obvious thing and a bit boring, but it gets better, I promise. So, first thing, gear doesn't matter. So yeah, you probably heard that a million times already, but seriously, you can take good photos almost with anything these days. Phones are really good these days, so if you don't have anything else and you just want to start selling your photos and videos, just shoot with a smartphone. I recently did a few photo shoots with a smartphone and images turned out pretty good. Most people wouldn't even know that those are smartphone images. Obviously, I wouldn't use my phone to shoot everything because it has a lot of limitations, especially when it comes to depth of field, lens selections, fast-moving subject, low light performance and similar. But if you're aware of these limitations, you can get really nice looking images with your smartphone. I have a video about smartphone photography. It's a bit outdated, so I think I have to create a new one, but if you're interested, I'll put a link down in description. Of course, more expensive gear will help you to achieve better results, so if you want to be successful, you will want to invest some money into camera gear. But to start, you don't need anything fancy, so phone, point and shoot camera, mirrorless or whatever, just don't overcomplicate and start. Second tip. Don't be afraid of noise. This tip will come handy, especially if you're using smartphone or an entry-level small sensor camera. Some people will tell you that for stock photography images has to be perfect, noise-free, that you can't go higher than ISO 400 or something, but that's totally ridiculous. It was like that 10 years ago when I started. I remember having images rejected because of too much noise, but now it's not like that anymore, because agencies realized that the content of the image is much more important than the technical quality, so they accept pretty much everything now. And to be clear, I'm not saying that you should shoot everything at ISO 1600, but if you're in a situation where that's the best option, just don't be afraid of raising that ISO. I shot images with ISO 6400 or even 12,000 and they're accepted and they're selling. But like I said, nonetheless, keep the ISO as low as possible for the situation you're in. Third thing, team up with other photographers. So this is probably the most important tip I can give you. For me personally, shooting with others is probably one of the best things in stock photography. If there was no group shoots, I would probably never make this into a full-time business. I won't talk much about it because I have a video on this topic and I'll link it up here and down in the description, so be sure to check it out. But just a quick tip, find other photographers, shoot together and learn from each other. That way you'll learn a lot, shoot more and also pay less for your shoots. I've met so many amazing stock photographers over the years and now I have friends all around the world and it's great just talking to them or working with them and all that. Fourth thing, don't read forums. As much as forums and stock photography groups on Reddit or Facebook can be helpful, they can also discourage you from shooting stock, especially in the beginning. I haven't found a single group or forum where people are not complaining about something, their earnings or some other stuff. There were people in the forums 12 years ago when I started and they're still there now that will tell you that stock photography is dead, that they won't sell their high quality images for a few cents, and yeah, I get it, that's totally fine. Everyone has its own opinion and yeah, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But as a beginner photographer, that can really be discouraging. If I listened to them when I started back then, I would never upload a single photo. So yeah, maybe it's better to avoid that in the beginning. Fifth thing, shoot video. So ever since I started to attend these iStock events in 2013, they're telling us to shoot video. Video is in increasing demand by customers who want to engage their customers, because typically users spend 6 times as much time on a web page with a video than on a page without it. And we can see that in all other areas as well. For example, Instagram, where Instagram actually prefers videos more than photos now. So when you're shooting photos, just switch that dial to video mode and film a clip of that same scene. It can be just handheld. Most cameras these days have a very good stabilization, so you won't have any problems with that, or you can just put it on a tripod. I know it can be intimidating in the beginning, especially if you haven't shot a single video yet, but it's definitely worth it. So my income from videos, for example, is 30 to 40% of my whole income, although I have 7 times more photos in my portfolio than videos. So yeah, it's a thing to consider. Tip number 6. Buy video lights instead of flashlights. So first reason is, like I mentioned before, I shoot photos and videos on the shoot, so it makes sense to use these constant video lights. But my opinion is, even if you shoot only photos, it's much better to use video lights than flashlights. And here's why. So first thing is that flashlights are usually too bright, too powerful, even set to minimum power. For a studio shoot where you can control all the lighting, that can be fine, but for lifestyle photo shoots you usually want to combine daylight with some other lights. So these video lights you can set to minimum power to just add a little bit of feel if you need it. Also, video lights are always on, so you will see exactly what you will get in the image. But with flashlights, the flash just blinks for a split of a second and you won't see what you'll get until you look in the camera screen. So there are tons of different lights out there, from cheap $100 one to more expensive few $1,000 ones. If you're interested, I'll link the ones I'm using down in description and you can check them out. Thing number 7. Don't try to make the image perfect. So when you're shooting for a client, let's say a magazine cover, you'll make hundreds of photos and at the end they'll choose 1 or 2 and they will make that image perfect. In stock photography, that's not the case. Instead of trying to get that perfect shot, try to make as much as you can from a photo shoot by shooting from different angles, making more different scenes and uploading more images, even if the light was not so perfect. I think taking more good enough photos will make you a lot more money than just having that perfect one photo. Because what can happen is that even if you have a very good photo, the algorithm won't show it for some reason, because no one really knows how this algorithm works, or it just won't get any views or sales in first couple of days, and it will be buried somewhere among all other images and you will just earn 0. But if you have multiple images from one shoot, there will be more chances that someone will actually see your images and buy them. Tip number 8. Don't upload all images from the same shoot at once. I used to upload all images from the same shoot at once, but then I realized that that's not so good idea. And let me tell you why. The thing is, when you upload a batch of images, they usually have similar keywords. And when somebody searches for content like that, the search will only show a few images from that shoot and others will be hidden somewhere in page 230 or something. And also, if those images won't sell over time, they will go even deeper in search, so it will be even harder to find them. Of course, if you click on an image, at least on iStock, you have that same series thing where iStock will show you images from the same shoot, but I doubt that a lot of customers are actually using that. And that's also the reason why from every shoot there will only be a few images that will be selling over time. On the other hand, when you upload one batch now, one batch sometime in the future and maybe another batch sometime later, you have more chances that the customers will actually see your images, because some of these images from this new batch will be higher in search again. Tip number 9, treat it like every other business. So, like you wouldn't expect a rapid growth from a new business, also here you can't expect that you'll earn a lot of money in the beginning. A lot of people just stop uploading because they just can't see the potential because they didn't sell anything. But when you're consistently building your portfolio on stock site, the algorithm will also notice that, and it will see that you're serious, that you're uploading consistently, and it will push your images more to the front. Also, with consistent uploading you will learn a lot, especially if you're new to the photography field. I also have a video about how I would approach this business if I was just starting out. I go more into details there, so if you're interested, check it up here and I'll link it down in the description. Next thing number 10, don't stop uploading. I see a lot of people who put a lot of effort into it and upload a lot of photos, and they're doing that for some time, but then they just stop. And I get it, life gets in the way, things happen, you have more important things to do. Yeah, it's just like me and making these YouTube videos. Yeah, but of course the algorithm don't like that. I know people who build their income to quite a nice level, but then they just stopped uploading for 6 months or so, and of course their income dropped. But then when you want to get back to that level where you were before, it will take a lot of time. So just try to be as consistent as possible. Yeah, I just checked before and I haven't had a single month without uploading anything from January 2012, which is quite an achievement. Tip number 11. Be ready to adapt. Like in any other business, also here you will have to adapt to the market, to new things, and there will also be some things that you won't like. On iStock, for example, there were things like introducing subscriptions, custom content, and now we also have video subscriptions. The thing is that agencies introduce these things because they have to, because there's a demand for it, not because they want you to earn less money. If iStock wouldn't introduce subscriptions, I'm sure that people who are buying a lot of content would go to Shutterstock and iStock would be out of business. So you have the option to complain about it and just stop uploading images, or you can adapt and try to make the best out of it. Also, stock images used to be that all white, clean images with perfect retouched models, but it's not like that anymore. Now it's more like real people doing real stuff in real life environments. So you wouldn't get very far with those 15-year-old images, so you have to adapt. And the last tip for today, never stop learning and trying new things. Okay, I consider myself as a good stock photographer. Yeah, well, it was not always like that, but even now with around 36,000 images and 5,000 videos in my portfolio, I still learn all the time. I watch videos about lighting on YouTube or on Skillshare, and I also buy an online course about lighting or filming or some other thing from time to time, and I learn a lot from each of them. But also, just watching YouTube, even my videos, will not make you a better photographer, so you just have to go out there and try by yourself. So stay curious, try new things, even if you have to go out of your comfort zone, and just have fun. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and if there's a particular thing that you enjoyed, write that down in the comments, and I will see you in my next video.